Welcome to Discovering Possibilities. I'm Kevin Kervick. Big news today, lots of big stories out there. There's some exciting events happening for our movement, the anti-social justice movement from the right. We are really starting to make some headway and win some battles. And it's very clear to me now that our side is quite committed financially, legally, socially, to fight these tyrants with all our might. That hasn't been the case in the past. It's never been the case. I've been quite frustrated with the lack of initiative from our side. That's all beginning to change. We're putting the resources forward, the effort forward, and the energy out there to fight back against these tyrants. The latest incident being Bret Weinstein has filed a $3.8 million tort claim against Evergreen State College. Campus Reform has an exclusive on this, as you can see. Major news. I've covered this story extensively, as have many of you. We knew this was a symbolic event. It was much bigger than Evergreen State College, but we were looking at the potential for changing the entire university system, and in particular, how to limit the power that these equity and inclusion diversity programs have on college campuses. So we're going right after critical race theory and the cultural Marxism that dominates many of these universities. We're starting to win. So Bret and his wife have filed this massive claim, given how they were mistreated on the university. And if you're wondering what happened, just go back and watch some of my videos. There have been thousands of other YouTube videos done on this. There's also been a fair amount of mainstream media coverage of this on Tucker Carlson and Fox News, and even some of the other more liberal outlets have carried this to some extent. So take a look at that. It's a major, major story. So the aspect of it that I wanted to cover, I think, is the most important for its symbolic interest, and I'm going to go down. One thing I wanted to mention that didn't come out so much before was that Weinstein was subjected to a lot of he was basically called a Jewish Uncle Tom by his own people. Jewish professors wrote a number of letters to him saying that going on the Tucker Carlson show and even calling attention to this issue made him a traitor to his own people because he was empowering white supremacists. No, what he was really empowering was common sense white people like me, like many of you out there that are watching, people that are just sick and tired of this, leftist, racialist, assault on us. And they're so far over the top, and this Evergreen State College situation has illustrated that for all the world to see. So Weinstein was calling attention to that. He's not empowering white supremacists, he's empowering common sense. And I'm very proud to be part of that common sense cohort. So let me read a few things here. All right. Most important part of the story, the factual narrative submitted alongside the tort claim. Apparently in Washington State, a tort claim precedes an actual lawsuit by a couple months or so. So this is the first step towards filing a lawsuit. So the claim argues that Evergreen State has permitted, cultivated, and perpetuated a racially hostile and retaliatory work environment, asserting that through a series of decisions made at the highest levels, including to officially support a day of racial segregation, the college has refused to protect its employees from repeated, provocative, and corrosive verbal and written hostility based on race, as well as threats of physical violence. So we're talking about physical violence here, and that's something that I think is still not very well understood. These radicals are violent. We're seeing it with the Antifa. We're seeing it on campuses. If anyone challenges their dogma, they not only try to discredit you, call you names, use all the Alinsky tactics. Increasingly now they're resorting to violence. They'll try to put you out of your job. They'll come after your company. They'll send you threatening emails. And they'll try to come after you violently. Okay? All of these things have happened to me personally, so I know these things are true, and I've heard horror stories from people all around the country. So we're talking about radical individuals, ends justifies the means types of individuals that are increasingly getting violent to get their way. And we're going to see more of that this fall on college campuses especially. So Weinstein and his wife are calling them out on that. That not only did the violence occur, the threats of violence occur, the university supported that. Okay? So President Cook, all the other folks in the equity and inclusion cohort, Naomi Wolf, I think is her name, also was verbally harassing other professors. We saw that on video. And this is not atypical. It happens in many places around the country. So thank God for the Weinsteins for calling this out into the open. Second paragraph, Weinstein's attorney also maintains that the college has failed to set and enforce necessary boundaries in the workplace on campus, selectively has chosen not to enforce its student code of conduct, and sent the unmistakable message that the school will tolerate and even endorse egregious violations and even crimes, purportedly to advance racial social goals, diminishing the college experience for all and fostering a racially hostile work and retaliatory environment for faculty and staff. So what this is simply saying is if you're on the wrong side of the social justice religion, you're fair game. People can harass you, they can threaten to beat the shit out of you. If you're not in the chosen group, which is one of the 7 protected classes, but specifically the LGBT group, the black group, the Muslim students, the feminists, you are fair game. You're subjected to anything because you're not in the right religion. So this is clearly a case of discrimination, and it's about time that someone is calling attention to this. This is a test case. There'll be dozens more this fall, and they're all going to go down around the same way. And I predict that you're going to see more of these types of lawsuits and more of these types of responses from common sense Americans like the Weinsteins. So go get them, Weinsteins. We're supporting you. We're going to keep talking about these things, call attention to them. My group, we see ourselves as owls in the night looking for these social justice episodes, and we're going to call attention to it, use whatever clout we have in alternative media to make the case and to shine the light on these social justice nightmares so that more and more common sense Americans will see them and get themselves involved in the game.